Dorothy, hi, how you doing? I see you got your work submitted. That's great. I'm so sorry you had issues submitting the PDF. Normally, I mean, if you look through this discussion board, you'll see a bunch of PDFs were successfully submitted. So there are no issues submitting a PDF. I think that maybe there was just maybe a computer glitch or a server glitch at that time that was precluding you from letting you submit that work. So sorry about that. At any rate, I see you have your work up here, and I downloaded this JPEG so we can take a look at it right here. So let's go ahead and do that. Just trying to fit it in the window here. Okay, that looks pretty good. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I want to go through the requirements. What is due in this assignment? And this is all on the assignments page. Now, note the assignments page is pretty long, so make sure you go through all of the requirements. Read that entire page, not just the first portion. But the image must be dominant. And I think the stove image is the dominant image here. Um, the object must be shown with somebody using it or interacting with it, but we don't see that. In order to show somebody using it or interacting with it, I mean, even if you had this shot right here with the pots on the stove, and you had the spoon and just a hand reaching down and maybe stirring that pot, that would be somebody interacting or using the object. Now, the third requirement is must show an image which is the result of using the object. Okay, that's that image. That's great. Must show at least two components. There's the temperature control and the burner. That's awesome. White background only, got it. Poster size 7 by 15, or in your case 15 by 7. Imagery must come in contact with the edge of the page somewhere twice. So we have 1, 2, 3 areas, 4, 5, 6 areas where actually all of your images come in the edge, come on the edge of the page. And I'm okay with that, but you might consider more of an interior image because there is one missing requirement. Let me just talk about that in 1 second. Design must combine images that are in boxes as part of a background and cropped individually without backgrounds. So it says right here, do not put everything in a box. And that's directly from the requirements, but everything in here is in a box, okay? So what a lot of students find success cropping the main image out of the background and using it as such. I think it's awesome that you decided to use your own imagery and take your own pictures. That's fantastic. That said, though, you might find excellent images for use, in image stock houses. So, in other words, you can do a search for a professionally shot stove image, and a lot of students elect to do that. That's purely optional. That's up to you. I mean, either way, you've got your images, so you've got that requirement, right? So just make sure that all of the requirements for images are met. Full color keeps your image dominant. You must use a grid. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the actual work itself. So you've got in a headline, design in everyday life, but the main problem I'm having with this piece is that it's breaking some of the rules of typography. Specifically, you're mixing 3 decorative typefaces. Now, decorative typefaces, you should use only one, okay? And it's typically in a headline area or a display area. You would not ever use decorative typeface for a body copy. It's just too hard to read. It slows down the reading process tremendously. And I think this is a good example of that. I would not recommend using this decorative typeface. You also have a third decorative typeface for your captions. My recommendation is this. Instead of using one font for the title area, try to establish a nice typographic composition. Let me show you an example. This is beautiful, isn't it? That's gorgeous. That's not just somebody picking a font and typing the words out in that phrase. That's somebody actually sitting down and planning out a typographic composition. I'd love to see that in your work. Whoops. Okay. Then the body copy looks, this paragraph is set pretty well. I think the tracking's a little bit tight, and that's because it's a decorative typeface, but we're going to change that to a more traditional typeface. So I'm not really going to get too far into that. Your rags look okay, but see this swoopy pattern right here? You'd want to avoid that. Rags are covered in the course announcement. Specifically, there is an announcement called How to Adjust Your Rags. This week, Dorothy, there are 4 announcements, and all of them have video tutorials in them. And there's also 3 course lectures, all of which are outstanding. what I'm telling students to do is really go through all of that, which I'm sure you already did, but go through all 4 announcements, go through each one, watch each video from the beginning to the finish. And as soon as you're done, consider watching it again. There's a lot of material being thrown at you guys this week, a lot. And the thing about this week is you got to get this stuff down this week, because this stuff is all expected to be employed for the duration of the class. Okay, so get in the resources, spend some time there. Specifically, the 3rd presentation shows you exactly what to look for in images to assist you in setting up your composition, which I'm going to talk about next. But again, just want to reinforce the importance of looking at all of those things. Then there's just the 18 rules in our 18 rules of typography. Got to get those under your belt as well. All right, as far as this composition goes, as I said, I think the typography is okay. Rags need to be adjusted. I'd like to see just a little more design work right here. So in other words, basically what we're looking at the image, the main image, and this is what you would do. You would look for clues in this image, shapes and things that you can use and mimic in the layout, to kind of mimic these shapes, drawing a nice harmony between image and type and layout. So right now I look at this image and what am I seeing? I'm seeing repeating circles. Okay, circle, 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 circle. Here's a spiral. I'm thinking of using this circle as the frame for my images. Circular images, circular components. Makes sense to me, right? There's some other things that we can use. This horizontal line right here might be able to be used somewhere, mimicking that horizontal line. This is a series of horizontal lines. So maybe that could add a clue as to what you could use. All right. Also, this shape right here, this rounded rectangle, there's another clue. The spirals on the burners, that's another clue. The outer rings of the burners, that's another clue. So there's a lot of things that you can use in here, and I think that we really, really need to get down and dirty on this and really start trying to find clues in the image that will assist you in your layout. Okay, so I think it would really, really do very, very, very well for you to take a look at those announcements and before your final submission. So that's what I would be looking for. I would just be looking for more of a really determined layout, as this layout is kind of, and I use this word, but I don't mean it to sound derogatory, but I use this word pedestrian. And I say pedestrian because we look at this page and we're just like kind of like this. And again, please don't think I'm discouraging. I'm not dissing your work at all. I think it's a great start, but I just kind of want to give you my reaction to this. Like I open this page and I go, okay, all right, okay, let's get started. We got a picture, we got a paragraph, we got a headline. All right, as opposed to, and again, please, Dorothy, don't think I'm discounting your work at all. But then we open a composition like this that's got like this wow factor, like, oh my gosh, it's hard for me to look away. So in this example, let's take a look. So the image itself has this circle here, okay, circles represented here. Then we have these 3 circles right here, okay, 3 circles. Then we have this kind of horizontal dripping into the cup, horizontal dripping represented by those dots. All right, so we can here's the circle again. Okay, so we can clearly see that this designer has picked elements out of this image to help assist in the layout itself. And that's what I would like you to shoot for. All right, so at this point, Dorothy, let's go ahead and just really take a look at those course resources. I know I keep saying that, but it's that important. I promise you, when you're done with the course resources, you will have 1,000 ideas in front of you as how to take this and improve this composition. I promise you, I'm telling you the truth. All right, Dorothy, so at this point, here's what we got. If you have any questions at all, please let me know and I'll be glad to make any necessary clarifications. But let's take it from there. Sound good? Thank you very much, Dorothy.